Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Leo. So, the sun is in Gemini, giving the light to the moon, which is in your sign. And we can see very beautifully how when you love yourself, then you can also love the wild side deep within you. And he's roaring to the left. He is literally letting you know there inside of you, you find always your voice, your deep intuitive voice, the wild one, right? And so we can see here this triangle or even a heart shape, right? If I turn it around, you see this kind of heart-shaped energy with the hair. And so the 6 and the 8 creates the 14. The 14 is temperance, is connecting always the masculine and the feminine, the duality energy. The 10 is the wheel of fortune. Everything is constantly spinning. Inhale, exhale, masculine, feminine. And of course, the 4 is the emperor when we understand that we can rule this world, when we understand the wheel of fortune, and then the spiritual message can come to us, which is the 5. So altogether, the 5 is left here, and the 5 is you as the 5th house of joy and playfulness and happiness and enjoying this life like the cats do, right? They just enjoy every moment. And so you really feel that Gemini's energy is giving you this, I gotta love myself. Now in your deck, the good tarot, Gemini or the lovers looks like this. And this is a love that is passing the barrier, right? And that's what we see in all those cat videos or animal videos. People love the cat or the cat loves the human, and there is no barrier, right? There is just really, if we accept the opposite as it is, then we can really come into a union. We come into the third eye, the inner eye, and then we get the 8. The 8 is the earth star that is hovering above our head. And so then the 14, again, the story in itself, the wheel of fortune that is turning and spinning. And then the 4, we can rule and we can really be a leader. Now, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury in the tarot is the magician. So we're going to look into the magician. And you are ruled by the sun. And so, of course, we're going to look into the strength, but also into the sun. And in the yoga pose for Gemini, we have here King Pigeon, one of the most difficult poses there is. She reaches back into her feet, and that's where the magic begins, the union between here the head and the foot. And that's how different sometimes masculine and feminine feels, right? Like the head and the feet. And then for you, here we have the 8, we have the infinite circle that is coming and going, and you get the information and you bring it down, and you will see that is then the magic that we can experience here. So this just to Sun and Moon today, right? And then of course the leading planets of Mercury and of course the Sun. So I have changed the way I'm reading, and I have 4 stations plus you, the King of Fire, right? This is Leo, the extroverted energy deep within you, the 5th house of joy and playfulness, and here you are, the King of Fire. So if your birthday is between July 13 and August 12, then this is your court card, and we also gonna look into that. Then we have also the integration of the last reading, which is Taurus Sun giving Leo Moon the light. The message was become as self-sufficient and courageous as you can. And we are reading to the left, right? So when you look at these pictures, you need to read to the left from here to there, because it goes to your new moon, and the new moon is introverted, is going back in, and the full moon is extroverted, we're going back out. And so it's very important that you understand that I read the cards 6 months to the right and 6 months to the left. Now, you see how he's looking to the left, right? But if I place the card on my chest and I become the personality of these two, and I look down, I see they look to the right for me. So there is a really important message always in the card itself. Am I looking at it from the outside perspective, or am I really becoming the card? Am I really living this? Then they go to the right. But if I look at it, it looks like I'm going to the left, and that's the circle. By going within, I will go also without, right? And so just that you understand a little bit why people or animals look to the right or to the left. So we begin the reading with you as a court card, the King of Fire, and you getting here the 10 of Swords. And the 10 of Swords is Sun in Gemini. Now, the Sun is in Gemini, and the Sun is what rules you. So the Sun in Gemini is bringing you a very strong message right at the beginning. The 10 of Swords, it's like you really liberate yourself from too much thinking, from something that has finally found an end, and you are literally with the 10 and the 5, a 15, you were attached or you were cut off from source, right? That's what the 15 is. 15 is Capricorn, is the devil, is that card where we have the Wheel of Fortune and the 5 senses, or the Hierophant for that, right? And the Hierophant is Taurus, is the earthly pleasures that we attach to, the 5 senses. And so here comes a very strong liberation. The 10, the Wheel of Fortune, is saying let go, because if you don't let go, life is going to be miserable in your head even, right? And your head is important because your body will feel it. So then calculated together, we get a 6, right, from the 15 here. The 6 again is the Lovers. Find the union between the dark and the light, and the masculine and the feminine, and find the 6, find the liberation, find the third eye. And so this is what's talking here through the Court card, right? Letting you know, let go, because Sun in Gemini is literally saying, you got to liberate yourself from thinking too much. Then we look into the Magician. And the Magician is bringing you the middle world, right? And the Magician here, this wise man in your deck, is literally saying, well, then you can be in the middle world, because the middle world has here the 3, the 6, and then all together the 9. And the 3, the 6, and the 9, these are very important numbers. Plus the 1 is a 10. So then you have a 10-10 portal that is letting you know something is ending and something is beginning. Because in the middle world, where the 6 birds are, the 6 of here, the Lovers, right, that brought you the 15, the attachment to certain types of thinking, and now you're letting go, and the 6 is appearing. You are learning that here in the middle world we can live this reality. We can go down into the roots, into the past, and we can go up into the future, into the higher consciousness. But only here we experience the past and the future. And so this is a very beautiful way of letting you know, come to this present moment. Be here with this tree and with the 6 birds. And the 10 appears. So then I wanted to see what is bringing you the middle world, and the 10 of discs is coming to the right. And the 10 of discs is Mercury in Virgo, Sun in Gemini, right, the constellation, and this Mercury in Virgo. And so the 10 of Pentacles, here we have a group of people. And so when we look at the circle, there are 10 people, but in here there are 3 women and the baby, the 4. So altogether there are 14 people in this card. And the 14 has spoken here with these 2. And the 14 is Sagittarius, is Temperance. And then the 5 appears, and that's again Taurus, right? So the 10, and the 10 here. Look at that, 3 times 10. You immediately have a strong message letting you know, yes, Gemini is telling you it's done, it's finished. You are realizing that a new era is born, and then the money will come, because 10 of Pentacles is a lot of money. And so this kind of money can only be enjoyed in a real beautiful community. If you're in the wrong community, you can be very rich, but also very miserable, because people envy you and they're not happy for you. But if you're in the right community, people enjoy with you the riches that you have. And so to the right, to the 10 of Swords is this card facing, because the circular cards have 4 meanings: upright, reverse, to the right, to the left. And so the 10 of Pentacles is pointing at the 10 of Swords. Then what is bringing Gemini to the plate? The 6 of Wands. And the 6 of Wands is Jupiter in Leo. So just these 3, I'm going to put this down for a moment. Just these 3, right? The Magician is saying, observe right here the middle world, the 10 with the Magician, then here the 10, which is a 20, and then here the 6 is a 26, and the 26 is the 8. You appear, you the 8, you are important. Then you can stand here. If you let go of the way you think, then you can really enjoy your life. Then the 8 appears, and you can see how clearly she is putting her arms up in a victory type of stance, and then you can show the playfulness that you have deep within you. And the 6 is again the 6 of the Lovers, the 6 that was here with the King of Fire, right? When you learn that the 10 and the 5 senses are bringing you always a feeling of like, oh, I love this world here, I like to be here, I can eat all these delicious things, I can feel and hear all these beautiful sounds, and it's just like this life here is so amazing. But you have to bring it to the 3rd eye, to the 6th chakra, where the liberation is, the true liberation, and then you can really live here in this middle world. So this is what the Magician is bringing. This is what Mercury brings you as a message, right? And so it's important that you see how the reading is going now. Now, we're going to look at you, right? What is now the Strength card bringing to you? And the Strength card is bringing you here the repairing the veil. So the repairing the veil is that because you are such a strong energy with the 8, right? The strength that you have by uniting here the intuitive with the logical. It's almost like here the 4 and the 5, right? The 4 is the emperor and the 5 is the Hierophant. And there is, of course, right, the king and the priest, right? And it's always the church and the royal king have worked together because they controlled each other. And so here we can see that the 4 and the 5 are literally letting you know that the 9 in the end, the hermit, the inner knowledge, the inner wisdom is what brings us a real understanding. And so the 9 and the 8 calculated together is then the 17, and the 17 is the star in the tarot, and the star is Aquarius. And the new age, right, Pluto is going to be in Aquarius for 20 years, and it's really changing our perspective of this world. And Aquarius is your opposite sign, and you got to integrate the two sides of the 4 and the 5 so that a 9 can appear. And this is where we forgive. And this is then when we forgive, we can repair and we can bring two worlds together. A world of where one is the emperor and the other one is the priest, the Aries and Taurus, right? Putting them together, and then the hermit appears. And then you can be a star up in the sky because the sun is a dwarf star. Remember that, right? And is ruling you. So here I wanted to see what is bringing you the Mother Peace Tarot, and the Chariot is coming reversed. And so the Chariot, as you can see, it's a very beautiful card. It's like, here's Nut, and she's going upright to the left, but when we turn it around, because that's how it came up, she's going to the right. And you see that you are learning something here, because the 17 turned here into an 8 again. The 8 and the 7 is again the 15. And so the 15 is playing quite an importance in your life, because the 15 is the attachment or the being cut off, right? And that's what created this difficult situation, the 10 of Swords, right? This, I am really not realizing how much these thoughts are keeping me captured. I'm not flying. I'm this angel that is standing here, and I'm looking up and I want to fly, but I can't. But it's the end of an era, right? It's the end. The 10 is always the new one. It's a new consciousness that is appearing in your inner mind, and she is then able to fly again. And so the 9 and the 7 is the 16, and the 16 is the Tower. And the Tower is then saying, well, things are changing in the emotional intelligence, because this is Cancer, the major arcana of Cancer. And so you got to go and repair this. Really, it's important. Forgive, because it's like she's going into this card, and you got to forgive. But I also have a card of yours, and it's the 20, the call. This is the calling that you emotionally, on an emotional intelligence level, you need to really forgive and unite here something that has been broken. And then you understand that the true strength comes through bringing all the numbers together. So here we have the 9, the 20, and the 9 is the 29, and that's an 11. And the 11 is a portal. And of course the 11 and the 7 could be the 11th of July or the 7th of November. But we also have the 8, right? And so the 7 and the 8 is again the 15, and then the 6 is left. So here the 11th of June or the 6th of November could be the message as a date to look forward to, right? And so here there is a calling to forgive, an emotional energy that is saying, yes, go into the forgiveness and understand how important that is. Good. Then we look at the moon, of course. The moon that is in your sign right now, and in your subconscious, right, you see here the moon maiden has come up. And the moon here is, of course, your subconscious, is everything that you dread, right? Are the feet, and you're like, oh God, I have to go deep down there in my emotions, in my feelings, and learn maybe something. And so the 41 is the 5, right? So you have the 4, the Emperor, the 1, the Magician. And here you have the Wheel of Fortune, and you as the 8, which is the 9. So the 9 and the 5 is again the 14, and the 14 we know is Temperance, is Sagittarius, is speaking here. But then the 5 is left. And so the 5 senses, right? Always the 5 senses are here to give us an understanding. We learn through the 5 senses. We learn through the 5 senses that we can play with them, that we can play with this dimension, that we can see the middle world here, how important it is to understand how all of this is functioning. And so you are understanding that the 5 is letting you know, use 5 senses and don't be too occupied in. Use the 5 senses, but don't be dependent on it. Use the third eye, because I wanted to see what is here coming, and the 7 of Cups is coming, which is, of course, then here with the Chariot, a 7-7 portal. And the 7 of Cups is the illusion, and it's the illusion card to think that these feelings are bringing you a certain joy, right? A certain, yes, I want to have that again, but we gotta really learn to not be dependent on these feelings. And I just want to show you what the 7 of Cups upright is bringing you. A woman is performing magic. She holds a scarf, and a dove flies out of the cup, balanced on the top of her head. Now in reverse, it's saying she has taken the time to contemplate all her fantasies. And now one thought or desire predominates. The bright plan lights up, and she is pulled on a particular path. She feels inventive. So the reverse here is actually a positive energy, right? And so here with the reverse of the Chariot, you are understanding that she is letting you know that you have to understand that the reverse of the Chariot is the Chariot is knocked down or overwhelmed, and she must be sure not to take it out on someone else. She might need to pick herself up and try again to make an effort to move forward and take the next step. Things are not in her control. And that's exactly what it is, because she is the Amazon woman from Africa, and she is just really someone that has a lot of courage. And where is she going? She is going to the repairing the veil, the forgiveness, because she's pointing to that direction. And so the 7 here reverse is giving you, when you dive deep down and when you understand the reverse Chariot, then you understand that the 5 and the 7 is the transformation. And so here the 7 of Cups is connected with Venus in Scorpio. So I wanted to see what comes up from your deck, and the Chariot is coming up again, but this time upright. And so you did it. You did, right? Go and forgive. You did do the repairing the veil. You did listen to the call. And so be proud of it, because here you have now a 7-7 portal, 3 times the 7, right? But here we have the 77 and the 5, but the 5 plus the 9 is the 14, right? And the 14, then again, the 5 is left. So see that the 5 senses are helping you to understand what is it that you are experiencing here, and then you can be successful in your emotional intelligence and go deeper within to your new moon and learn here that the 7 of Cups reverse is helping you to not get stuck in any illusion, that only one energy is important, and that's this dove here, right? And so you see that the moon here, which is in your sign right now, is bringing you a deeper understanding of your feelings and emotions and your emotional intelligence. Good. Last group is the sun. The sun is bringing you then the biome, the 44. So the sun is the 19, which is a 10. And so here the 44, when we calculate it together, it's an 8. And it would be the 18, and then the 9 is left here. But I don't calculate here the 44 together, but still a 9 is left. And the 9 is the completion, right? The 9 is you have understood the middle world. You have understood that here is the middle world. The world is turning and spinning, and you see that this is important for you to understand the biome, the connection to everything there is, even the negative. And then the positive can again cherish out of the negative, out of a burning, out of a destroying. The world will recover and again renew itself. And I wanted to see, of course, what's coming up here, and the Empress reverse is coming here. She's lying here with other goddesses, right? And she is enjoying herself, but because it's reverse, something is on your mind. Maybe you focus on this, right? Or maybe you focus on something that is really disturbing you. And of course, Gemini, which is what comes here, brings you the Ace of Swords. So something is on your mind, right? That is not really giving you a sense of peacefulness, because there is war on this world. But now this is the important thing. The 1 and the 3 is the 4, and the 4 is the emperor, the leader that has to forgive. And remember, you had 10 swords, and now you got an extra sword, which is the 11. And the 11 is the portal. The 11 is saying, now you understand that after the 10 comes the 11, because in the tree of life, right, the Kabbalistic tree of life, we have 11 stations. We don't have only 10. The A's to the 10, we have 11, and you get the 11. The 10 swords, and that one thought that is helping you to understand what's going on here. And the Empress is understanding that by uniting with that one thought, she can become the 4. The 4 and the 4, 4. 3 times the 4 is appearing here. And the sun, the 19 turns into a 10, right? The Wheel of Fortune and the Hermit together creates then the 10, and the 10 is a new cycle. The 10 is the new cycle that you need to start in the way you think, and it's appearing here. And so 3 times the 4 here is clearly letting you know that you are understanding something, because you have a 4 here in repairing the veil, the forgiveness, and you had a 4 here in the new beginnings, the new maiden, and you understand very clearly that the 4 also came by calculating, of course, these 2 together, right? And there lies the 14, there lies the understanding that temperance is giving you always an understanding of these 2 are not people anymore, because now there are 2 cups that are exchanging each other's energy constantly, and in that 4 is then the leadership. In that 4 we can literally then rise above and spread our wings again and know that the 11 is the portal to liberate yourself and find that even this negative energy that she is feeling, you feeling that this is there is then, but because of this, and you see the colors, right? You see this, the dark, and she's facing this card. It's like, yes, you know that in the end, one thought is the most important thought, and it's the thought of love. And so this is what the Empress needs to do. You need to make her turn around so that she is actually understanding this whole concept of what is happening here, right? She needs to have this thought and not be here in a state of, well, life is really bad and, you know, people are doing negative things. And so here the goddess, right, that is lying here with other goddesses in reverse is saying the Empress is in a period of dormancy. She may feel as if she can't take care of herself or anyone else. The Empress may feel that her creativity is dried up. It's winter, a cyclical period of rest. And so maybe here the reverse of this, right, the Cancer, is giving you an understanding that you have 3 cards that came up reverse, right? This one was positive. This one is kind of like positive because you're going to the forgiveness, remember, right? And this is like, okay, you gotta really connect with her. You gotta really see how she sees, right, the biome, how she is seeing the negativity out there in the world and finding a solution, which is love, right? The higher consciousness sees love, sees a solution in the negativity, and that's what you gotta do, so that you're not getting sucked into a negative, that you are finding the forgiveness in everything this world has done to you or to us, right? Because that's what it's all about, right? Then you can spread your wings again and fly and be liberated from your way of thinking, which brings you sometimes down. So I hope I see you in the next reading, because that's when we have the Sun in Cancer, and Cancer is here, reverse and upright, right? The 777 portal came here 3 times the 7. Understand the power and the emotional intelligence. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.